In the last episode, we got up to building this lumberyard to have the perfect excuse to have an ugly tree farm for all those wood types. I am currently missing cherry wood and the 2 nether woods, which today I will be hunting those down. Welcome to Minecraft with Q. My name is Q, but you all can call me Death Basher. Today, I'm going to build a harbor so that way we have a port from which we can leave and come back from, connecting us to the ocean and the rest of the world. And also have a home for our fishermen villagers to get those campfires, so I no longer need to craft them. Plus, it'll open up the world for more opportunities of exploration and expansion into other districts. That's right, this is not going to be just one giant town built up over time. So first things first, I need to do some deforestation, clear out this woods right here because I have an idea and a location of where I'm going to put this port. That nearly took me like 2 to 3 hours just to clear out all of these trees. Now the problem lies is terraforming. I need to get my hands on a lot of dirt, and what I'm thinking is actually to kill 2 birds with 1 stone is head into the nether so I can get some of that warped fungus and the crimson mushroom fungus thing. I don't know, so that way I can get 2 of the nether woods and maybe can even come across a cherry grove biome to actually get the cherry saplings as well. So what I'm thinking of doing is going into the nether, picking one direction and going straight out so that way I can pop a portal down, and then hopefully that area will be a good enough area to just completely destroy so I can gather a bunch of dirt. So that way all the terraforming can be done nice and easy, can have my pockets all full of dirt. So in order to do that, I need to get my hands on some obsidian and find the biome, and hopefully in the nether can come across some of that cool stuff. I was able to actually come across a biome that I don't like at all. It's a snowy biome. We open up the world map here, which yes, I do have the world map, so that way I can look at the world and see how it progresses over time and can see that like, oh, our village is right here. We're expanding down here. Here's a roadway. Like, oh, it would look really cool if we have a pathway going this way to this village and then loop over here into this plains and build something over here, or a road from our village going all the way up through this beautiful plains area over into the dark oak forest. Anyway, I traveled 6,000 blocks all the way up here into the snowy taiga, which I am not a fan of this, and there was a village over here which I didn't explore because I don't need to. I was just on the mission to get dirt, filled my inventory with dirt. I even got some warped fungi, which as you can see right over my head right there. Boop. But didn't get any crimson wood and didn't come across any cherry. The plan now, got all this dirt. We have all kinds of holes that are down here. We have this hole over here. We got like this bit of a crevice over here. We got that over there. We have this here. And this kind of weird little valley looking thing right. So what I need to do is spend time and actually terraforming this whole area and getting the land ready for the preparation of step 1, getting the road to come down into here. And then step 2, figuring out the terrain over that side and that side to build the ports. Because you know, it's going to be on either side. There's going to be a little fisherman village in the center, and there's going to be a port on one side and a port on the other side. So we can go out to the world that way, or we can go out into the world that way. And it'll open up for more builds and decorations and all kinds of fun stuff. But now my favorite part of ever in this entire game is doing the terraforming process. So let's begin. How I usually go about doing any kind of terraforming projects is to just start placing dirt. I look at the land pre-existing and try to smooth it out so it doesn't look too blocky. However, there is not much you can do with that in this blocky game. Get it? Oh. I made sure to put torches under here so that way I know future Q will not have any issues. I did really underestimate just how much dirt this was going to take. I'm running out. Well, it's looking like there's going to need to be a lot more dirt, and my shovel is looking for better days. Which brings up another issue that I should probably resolve rather soon, and that is mending. I think I need to get my hands on some mending villagers, and after placing all this dirt, I kind of feel like building a little structure of some kind. So why don't we actually build a little hut and get something situated so we can actually have mending villagers, and then we can get mending on all of our tools. Plus, that's been my main excuse to not have diamond armor right now, is because I don't got mending, and I need mending now, because taking on terraforming projects, you're gonna need mending on your tools, and that's what I gotta do. So enough stalling and enough talking. Let me get something built up for our mending villagers to live in, and get mending villagers, and then get the mending trade and get mending on all of the tools and get tools repaired, and then we'll be unstoppable and can do all these massive projects that I got written down and a notebook currently to the right of me on my desk. To get this mending project underway, I headed down to our stone storage room to gather up some resources. I noticed I was low on stone and diorite, so I headed over to the lumberyard to get cracking on stripping spruce logs because I was going to need a lot of those, and hoping that in one of these chests over here I would come across more stone and diorite, which I didn't, so I'm going underground to gather more stone and diorite because it's very much needed for this build. Which it didn't take me long to get what I needed, so I'm now heading back up to start actually working on the Church of Librarians, which, to be honest, the longest part of this build was to craft everything that I needed to build this structure. Plus, I realized that having shulker boxes would be really helpful, so I'm starting to think that I need to go and find the stronghold sooner than later. Now, I know I said that I was going to be building a small structure, and by small, it turned out to be rather of large size. But essentially, quite a few stations for these librarian villagers to be in. A grand total of 12 stations for the librarians to be in. And if we go into statistics, I've only broken 3 lecterns total in this world and placed 12. So we'll just see how long exactly it takes me to get all the villagers that I need for the librarians, which means I'm going to spend quite a bit of time actually getting them transported from the breeder all the way over into here. Now, I'm not going to bore you with that footage because it's just going to be plop, 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 plop. So when I get the villagers all in here, squared away, and the trades that I need and want, I'll bring you back with an update. Well, that took me a lot longer than expected. We are currently sitting at 166 days. And when I first started doing this, it was probably close to like 120 days or so. And if we take a look in the statistics, I had only broken 3 lecterns, and now I have broken a grand total of 1,453. So that means I broke a grand total of 1,450 lecterns to get the enchantments that I needed and wanted. So we have 2 villagers here just for the basic simpleness of trading paper for emeralds and to get more bookshelves in your lanterns. And we finally got name tags and free glass. Same thing with this guy. I mean, doing some books with this guy, and we got the name tag. So we have Feather Falling 4, we have Silk Touch, we got Looting 3, we got Infinity, Fortune 3, Mending, Sharpness 5, Protection 4, Efficiency 5, and Unbreaking 3. The crazy thing, I re-rolled 7 villagers in a row, and they were all Silk Touch, traded emeralds for 7 times in a row. I got the same trade, and it took forever for these guys to like lock into their trades to get actually wanting to be a villager, while I was also waiting and killing time through the nighttime to try to be somewhat more of efficient. I actually bit the bullet and I finished up the terraforming down through here. So our roadway that comes from the main part coming down over here to the lumberyard, we actually now have the roadway that comes all the way down here to the port. Yeah, it's still looking pretty bland, and over there I still got to finish up some landscaping on that side. But for the general purpose of what we're going to be accomplishing here in the next few minutes is actually building our port, at least the start of it. We have the main road that's coming down. So it's crazy to think that like 50 days spent just on those villagers over there and getting this terraforming done. So the plan is to put a retaining wall here, and then we'll actually have like the boardwalk area, like the center of the town where like the living district is. Everybody's living around here. Then over on this side, we're going to have, you know, the dock area, the port, and the same thing over there. That side is going to take a lot more effort and work, which I'm probably going to need a beacon, and I have plans to get a beacon here pretty soon for many other reasons, which we will go over either towards the end of this episode or the future of the next episode. What I need to do now is go on a mending montage, get myself some diamond armor, and put mending on all of these tools. crazy to think just how long it took me to do this. It took, what, probably from the time lapse, like 4 to 5 days, honestly. But so far, we got a couple of houses here built. Yeah, we have basically, they're just like giant safades in the sense. Like we got one house here, we got another one over here, which is very plain on the inside. There's not much going on here. Same thing with that house. That house isn't really, it's more there for decoration. But this house, this one here, which is actually kind of funny because originally this house here was the plans for my starter house of the beginning of the series. But obviously over there, things were different. But we have all kinds of room inside here on the first floor. And then the second floor, plenty of space for activities. And the basement, which, yeah, it still has this dirt floor, which that's going to change in the near future. My plans for this build here is to actually have this be the trading hall for the fishermen. That we got plenty of room, we got space to store them. Plus, it's the biggest house, and it makes the most sense. Also, I was lucky enough to get some doggies. Oh, look at the doggos. Yeah, they were just wandering around over there, and so I found some bones, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll be lucky enough with 11 bones, and boom. Just a few bones later, which actually, it took me like 5 bones to get these two. And then, of course, I bred them up, and now we got one baby puppy, and now we're going to have oh, come on. And now we got 2 baby puppies. The army is breeding, so we're going to need names for these guys. And yes, I know, I still got to name a couple of villagers, which, hey, don't worry. We're going to name them very soon. What I actually need to get cracking on is actually the port of itself. We got houses for villagers. I got to work on getting villagers into there, but they can't go anywhere if they don't have a port. This is going to be like the dock area, thinking that we'll have like a little workshop area, kind of like right here, that like maybe like a crane coming off this little mountain right here to pick up, you know, shipments and everything from the boats, and then putting them over here onto this pad so they can be sent out through the rest of the village. And then we'll do something similar over on that side, but that side's going to take more time. So without further ado, I think it's time for me to just kind of start kicking off and getting a dock set up. It's the only thing to do now, right? I didn't quite have a plan going into this dock area. I was just thinking that I have this one landing for materials and stuff to come in and out. And I decided, you know, let's bring it down close to the water, because yeah, we could bring the water up to us, but with it being so natural and also saving myself the headaches of the future, I might as well just bring myself down to the water. So we're starting to lay out here the foundation of the dock itself, and then putting in a little bit of a retaining wall to hold back the land to support the future cargo that's going to be sitting back there on that pad. Trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to be doing in this area. I know that I'm going to want just a little bit of a, you know, like a pier sticking out so I can do some fishing right off the pier or get into a hand-rowing boat. And then I thought to myself over on this side that it looks really good. I could use it as like a little storage thing, like, hey, these little boats come in and out all the time. They need a little area to unload and load things up and get ready for their voyages of the seas. So I was like, hey, I'll throw in a little bit of a section right here. And it's like, you know, it doesn't make much sense of it just to be floating here, so add some support pillars to actually make it make sense. I was starting to look a little bit too gray for my liking, so I was like, you know what, let's add in some log supports. It's the only thing that makes sense in this area. And then this side over here was like, well, what can we really do? It looks like a good natural cliff face, so I was like, well, we'll turn it into a beautiful cliff face. Laying out a bunch of cobblestone, then coming back through and texturing it with some andesite. It makes it look good. It's a process for texturing and detailing things out. It's a slow process, but it gets the job done. Then obviously adding in some slabs and stairs, the different variants that I've been using for the texture pieces, is what really brings it all together. Adds the smoothness, the curves to it, to make it seem a little bit more jagged and natural and not just so blocky. I thought I was going to like the design of putting these slabs on top of the log posts, but it turns out I didn't. So actually I ended up removing them and replacing with lanterns, but I figured, like I said, little storage area for the boats that come in and out from port to port. Hey, you need a place to start. So now we got our little dock set up here, and it's looking pretty quaint, pretty cute, you know? And we got this like little rock face right here, because the plan is that's where the crane's going to go. So this little pad right here is where the crane is going to go, and I got to do some more like landscaping over on this side because I want to have like a big ship kind of come in here to the harbor. So need to figure out some designs over here to put a big ship, because how the crane is going to be facing off into that direction. And then this little station down here is just, it's more for the sense of a little bit of fishing, just hand fishing, little hand boats, just, you know, little small stuff. We got a little bit of a storage setup, and it's getting there. I need to get some mud and packed mud stuff, because that's what, like, the actual, like, harbor dock part, whatever this section's going to be, like, where the storage is of, like, all the cargo and everything, getting ready to leave the village, going out, and all the stuff coming into the village and whatnot. So, like, that's the material that I need. But let's build this crate. And just like that, folks, our beautiful crane is set in place. So now we can unload the ships and we can load the ships. Except we don't have ships. Not yet, at least. Now, a few of you from a few episodes ago, maybe it was the last one, I don't know. It's taken me some time to make this episode. With the holiday season and everybody being sick, it's taken time. But I have been putting in the hard work and making sure to produce a very good video for you guys that you have long overdue waited for.
Are you sure?
But now, to finally name some of these guys, we have a Tim the Tool Man, and we have a Bob.
Hello.
So everybody meet Tim, and everybody meet Bob.
It's a nice day.
We're going to need a lot more names, because we're getting a lot more villagers. Oh, and for the doggies, because I have unlimited name tags now, so we need names for those doggies.
Potatoes too, you know.
We have come a long way in this world. We've started to expand out that way. We've built up that harbor port area. We've got the lumberyard sitting over there, and we got some pretty naked paths over. It's not looking good. Over here, we haven't gone this way. And my plans for the reasoning of needing a beacon is that mountain right over there above my head. That mountain there. It's going to go away. It can't not be there anymore. But in order to do that, I'm going to need a beacon. And I have a lot of side projects that I got to do. There's a lot of little things that need to be finished up. Like this area, I'm getting tired of looking at this being dull and gross looking. That pathway, yeah, it's half-assed. It's not completely done. Mine shaft's still not done. This pathway and that creeper hole over there of the first death ever on this world. There's a lot of things that need to be done. So I'm thinking for the next episode, just to keep you guys on your toes and excited, it's going to be a lot of projects. A lot of them. A lot of small projects. And one big accomplishment that is so much needed to actually really help me with expanding and getting onto these bigger projects that I have future planned out. And some of the projects do involve those guys right there. But that's enough said. That's enough foreshadowing. That's enough teasing. I hope all of you guys have a good day.